And your course be almost say, who say Mammy Akosuah Serwaa case, undi be my man for me. I just want to get a confirmation from you. Quick one for only that one alone.
It's not true.
Okay.
And you can listen to the tape very well.
Okay.
I was invited to speak on matters of politics
Okay.
because I'm the head of communication at Asante for Ken.
Okay.
And before we went to discuss the Ken issue, they asked me about the Almighty Akosuah Serwaa.
Okay.
Yes, and I can only give a brief for it because I've been advised not to speak to it.
Okay.
So, I know busy about my frustrations. I'm so of course I've experienced frustration. In fact, I've received stress after I filed the notice of appeal. I'm saying so I know saying am I not thinking about the safety of my wife? I'm saying I am. Nothing to be and I'm saying everything is possible. You get the point.
Yeah.
I'm saying why not? Everything is possible. Let me judge. Let me to us. So I did not make an emphatic easy me die.
Okay.
But asking them so everything is possible. And so this just and I know because my cause sir. Obi ntimi nanu afrem
Oh,
from.
and some kitu or me wo.
Why?
I want for friends, sir, because
Obi
said I
fere
make
wa na
kind
illegally. It's
because
a
a
legal
lot of
matter.
people are picking on say na me be sometimes look at Nipa Kuna picking or kind of such a way say wow all support the other side and what
It's na busia ya nya na enti yese Lawyer Kusi say adwuma no wonye bie mu no. Anche bia na yate se wasan ba abonte aba be kasa no se ebe. Media for Ghana for. Ada na mote asem na madane no. Wanka ne sa kra no no ye den agyan ne client ye ma me Akosuah Serwaa chidi. Oso no de wo ta ma me Akosuah Serwaa chetel time obehu se ye begye ma me Akosuah Serwaa atuma na kosi se Ghana fo ebehu no krese ma me Akosuah Serwaa na oye Daddy Lumba yire mapa enti no wono adwuma no wonjae ne enjae chena efre na ede kɔ yɛhwɛ n'anim ɛwɔ court a wɔbɛtwe ne yakolak ɛne ne note bebrebe a dane dan nyina ɔde bɛpie mu court wɔsoa ne nyinaa de aba na wabɛpɛ justice ɛde ama ma me Akosuah Serwaa nti ɛno ne de Lawyer Kusi so ɛde aba bɛto dwa after sɛ yɛnya ne nteɛ sɛ adwuma no wonye bi Sambre ya meka sɛ die Lawyer Kusi a wogyina mu ɛde ma me Akosuah Serwaa ɛwɔ court no Lawyer Kusi say wa resign na appeal na ma me Akosuah Serwaa ebeye no kra wanya anye se threat a eba on ne so ene na busua ne na ire so no enya asem keto se wanja adwuma ni mu a ahwa ne nkwa eda so ye so aha no mo eye BNA TV abusua de ekoso e wo social media ne so ene yakwakofa ne de besom mo na enye fedi agrokra ta me chuku na jebre me so sa ne de dika wabore YouTube channel so a BNA TV ya na wa subscribe na wa like na wa share video ama foforo so enye bi ahye odwen kyere so ene de ani obo kwan so na de fa comment section ho no mo e de ama me abusia mo yenko ensem ni mu enkyere mu kakra mo ma me ngeste mo ne yenko fa video no emfa mesom mo na ano ayeden ye pa mresante nyina Daddy Lumba eda ne nsa benkom so abusia monim se social media so aye bebrebe adechiye bia ni mu ensem na monim se Lawyer Kusi Dani day nyina wono ene gina mu mresante nyina one gina mu se abele aba ede mama me Akosuah Serwaa wo kyerɛ se till say justice ebeye adwuma amama me Akosuah Serwaa ne de ono de n'adwuma no wonja mu nanu ya ana mama me Akosuah Serwaa ebepie mu ewo Ghana no ba bepie mu no ena wo kyerɛ se sese na opese okoye appeal na appeal na wo ba akoye no ne nyina ejane Lawyer Kusi so eno ne no ebekwa akoye na busia efi say omokokoye appeal li ewo court ye Kumasi High Court na ba beto dwa say process bia na wo say Lawyer Kusi ede ma me Akosuah Serwaa FM ansa na oma ba betena se aka asem no wanya sa process no nti no won san kɔ nachi na omo nkofa sa process ni mu ansa na omo aba na process no ene say obi bebusa ne nyina ne say eche say court na oma ba na eye ma me Akosuah Serwaa LA letter our person or no and it's not drum or control Daddy Lumba and Japadiano. I was a dobroni a gentle beef say and yon one a year or dobroni so a second wife and I feel so a busapeni to pack busapeni coffee su and was I'm making also when you access to or no and I feel so no my Akosuah Serwaa and kind who say and yan a bankwa and a Daddy Lumba na Daddy Lumba woma mako dubako a ye 11 na omo womu Daddy Lumba ma also omo so nkwala no enya access to sa letter no so ofo nyina so wie no mu nyina agituma ehonom na ye begia tum se mama Akosuah Serwaa etnam anase wo gie aginam se ono na eba be control Daddy Lumba ejapade no na busia sa process nya mama Akosuah Serwaa amfam it court order say Lawyer Kusi and the client omo nko back no omo nko follow process no ansa na omasa so aba petna asem no eso na emu honomo na yenya ntie say Lawyer Kusi aba be grant interview na ne interview wo yenyina ne sese ya wo kasa ide ne pen ne book ane ne bag adane dan nyina ekolak na wo twe edeba court no sese wagyan ne nyina mu enya dia a court case bi ebeba eye court a fa ho e wo mama Akosuah Serwaa ba begina mu biem efise treta koso no onfa na hogroso anajo wonder any phone calls and I say and a big as alleged lobeku no and an abusuafo obi friend yire obi friend ma any the air cost no Lawyer Kusi say so one pa baby amfa na say when jama me Akosuah Serwaa adwuma no amfa nto ho no mo dia ne nkwa eda so yeso abusia video no e wa hanom say me nkasa bebre mo ma yenko ne yenko nkwohwe emfa mbra.
You get the point.
Okay.
It had nothing to do with it.
When the injunction was imposed on the funeral, some were of the view that the actions of your client was subjecting the name or the legendary name of Daddy Lumba into disrepute, and that you're not giving him the honor that he deserves, and you are more or less dragging his name into the mud. And they felt that the legend did not deserve that.
The author of the letter should have thought about that. The woman was desperately protecting her status, and that was the only way out. So the one who wrote the letter, who dragged the name of Lumba, not the one who was trying to defend her position. You get the point? Because assuming that there was no such letter.
You wouldn't have reacted.
And the issue was about the two of them performing the widow. I mean, there would not be the need to go to court. But to suggest that she's not a wife, when she knows she is. As a matter of fact, if you listen to the history and the story, she played a very important role in making Lumba who he is.
Yeah. But is it not true that the cracks of your case also sought to suggest that the other partner should not be recognized as a partner to Daddy Lumba? Why?
Legally. Because she cannot be a wife if indeed Akosuah Serwaa is married under the German civil marriage.
But we also read the ruling that, and the judge said you couldn't prove with evidence that indeed she was married to him.
That is the opinion of the judge.
You disagree?
Vehemently.
Were you able to provide the evidence?
More than. You see, I don't want to go to the merits now, but...
no, but that's the one that has already been dealt with. So
yes,
that's why we are...
but we are on appeal.
Okay, I know.
You see, and I have made this comment. A level of, let me be charitable, misunderstanding in the legal practice. Look, before you can comment on a judgment, you should get the proceedings. Because you give evidence in court, and out of the proceedings, the court then take a decision on the matter. A court who is interested in going this way can ignore all the evidence you let. Because some of the evidence was on the media, and look at the judgment when we were cross-examining the head of family. The court didn't consider that necessary. Even gave credence to the evidence of the Abusuapeni, somebody who said he knew nothing. I wasn't there. I don't know. I wasn't there. He said he preferred that one to our evidence. So if you take time and read the proceedings, you would...
Now, briefly on Akosuah Serwaa and Martin.
Very brief, because
we'll be very brief.
I've been advised not to talk about
We'll try to be very brief.
Exactly.
For those of us who are listening and who may not know exactly what the issues are, summarize for us. What's the core issue of your client?
Summary. You know, in practice and when we went to school, we learned that when one marries under the ordinance, that person cannot under any circumstance marry a second wife because it's strictly monogamous. But if you look at the other traditions, in the custom marriage, you can marry as many as you can. Islam is 4. And all max. That. So this Akosuah Serwaa issue came before me. It was at a time when Akosuah had allegedly instructed a lawyer to write to Akosuah Serwaa that she's a divorcee and that she would not be permitted to play any role if they even give her the opportunity to be a privilege. Exactly. And that...
And you saw that letter?
Yes. They tendered it in court. And so it was based on that I advised that, okay, so the only way you can then assert your status as well is to go to court. So it's a straightforward matter. It is notoriously known that you were married to Lumba under the German civil law. And that is strictly monogamous. So we embarked on the trial. This issue of injunction came up because...
You're referring to the injunction imposed on the funeral?
Funeral because whilst the matter was going, they were earnestly preparing to conduct the funeral. We thought that if that happens, it may affect the urgency of the case. So we sought an injunction. Otherwise, the suit had nothing to do with the funeral or body of Lumba.
But I was so waje braja akunya busuan sisi dia no na ekoso social media no so enya fadi agro Daddy Lumba semi na me kura de me face yesi Daddy Lumba wi a echira katadin echire din na so no di eku kiba no anu odin papa sisi Lawyer Kusi epese oja ma me Akosuah Serwaa mu ede na ma me Akosuah Serwaa ebeye fo adwenkyere eto comment section ho no mo efo ma me bana fo nyina ade hwekronkro akwakopo ya ye kwa donko ame wayemie emo bibiara ena me di dwumadi aba be som makram bye bye.